Over the years, as the style has become more popular, I've been sent a bunch of different budget wireless microphone systems, and I've never really loved any of them. They all just felt like worse sounding copies of the Rode Wireless Go, which is kind of what inspired this style of mic in the first place. And now that I own the Rode Wireless Pros, I never thought I would have a use for another one of these cheaper alternatives, but Godox might have just proved me wrong with the Magic XT1. First of all, this is the smallest wireless transmitter mic I have ever used, which is cool on its own. But there are actually some other reasons to consider this mic system if you're in the market for something like this. The reason I like this system is it doesn't feel like it's trying to copy the Rode mic. Godox kind of went their own way. They built this little receiver box that holds the transmitters inside, and they made them so tiny that it's a completely different use case than the Rodes. Firstly, there are some things you don't get with these mics. There is no internal recording. There's no 32-bit float audio. There's no way to plug a lav mic or any other kind of mic for that matter into the transmitter. But that's not really how most people are using these mics anyways. Here's why I like them so much. My biggest issue with the Rode Wireless Go and Rode Wireless Pro system is they're a little bit big and a little bit heavy. And that's fine because they do include a lot of cool features in there like 32-bit float audio. But when I clip them onto my collar or I use the magnets on my shirt, they tend to kind of droop down like this. And not only does it look weird, but it ends up angling the mic further away from my face, making the audio quality sound worse. I've actually used these in a couple of these talking head YouTube videos, and I have had that problem where in editing, I had to change the audio halfway through because the mic was fine at first and then it kind of drooped down and got a lot quieter and started picking up the echo off the walls a little bit more. But the Godox mics are so light and tiny that you don't really have this issue. They just kind of sit there. Like it barely even creates any kind of wrinkle in my shirt. The other unique aspect is this little package that they come in. They charge exclusively by being attached magnetically to the receiver. So you have your two little mics here and they just pop off like that. And when you want to charge them, you just click them in place and they're charging. This is nice because it means all I have to bring with me if I want to use this is this and an audio cable to plug into my camera, but that's it. When I carry my Rodes with me, they've got extra accessories and the Godox has some as well. You do get this little box with some extra cables and windscreens and little clips if you want to clip them on. But this is the Wireless Pro system on its own. It's this charging box. This is how you charge them. It's also how you plug in to get the files off of them. And again, I don't really have a problem with this because of the features that the Wireless Pro systems have. Like this is a completely different market we're talking about. But when I'm using the Wireless Pros for something, this is what I'm bringing with me. If I'm using the Godox mic, this is what I'm bringing with me. So if I need something for quick run and gun audio capture and I don't care about 32-bit float audio, I'd actually be a little more inclined to bring something like this. The one downside of this design is the battery. Because they charge off the receiver, it means when you use this mic for a bit and then you decide to put it back in here, you're slowly draining the power of the receiver and it's gonna die a lot quicker because of that. I haven't used this mic for like a lengthy amount of time, like a full day type of shoot type of thing, but I get the feeling because of this form factor, it doesn't last super long. The other problem that you get with having such a tiny transmitter is the battery itself on these is going to be not so great. So you're going to have to plug it in here a little more frequently, and then the battery of this is going to die quicker. But still one downside for sure. And unlike the other cheap alternatives I've tried, they actually sound decent. So this is a test of this mic in a pretty windy condition. I've got the little dead cat on here. This is without the dead cat. It's probably picking up some more wind now. Yeah, I can feel it. And then there's a nice little magnet on the back of here, so I'm just gonna slide this under my shirt and kind of see how this sounds. The nice thing about this mic compared to something like the Rode Pros is that the Rode Pros are kind of heavy. This is so small and light that it doesn't tug down on my shirt at all. So I kind of like that. Now, if it was just a pure audio quality test, I would still pick the Rode Wireless Pros over something like this, but the Rode Wireless Pros are like 4 times the cost of these, so of course I would. But in a vacuum, these sound pretty good. And even when I'm outdoors with the dead cat on here that comes with it, just slide it over top, the audio quality when it's a little bit windy was still really solid. And compared to the other wireless mics I've tried, the cheaper alternative options, these are probably the best ones. Like I would actually use the audio quality from this if I needed to. I've used these cheap alternatives and I just find it so hard to recommend because even if they're a budget option for someone, I listen back to the audio quality and it just does not sound up to standard, even for a budget end. And that's why you've never seen me in a video use any of these cheap budget options that I have, is just because I would so much rather deal with the headache of having a shotgun mic or something a little bit further away from the camera, because even if my shotgun mic is on my camera way over there, I would still rather have that audio quality than the really tinny telephone sounding quality that comes out of some of these cheaper end mics. But that's all I got for you in this one. It's a cool little mic. It's not something I would use all the time, but it's definitely a really neat little gadget to have. I'll link this down in the description if you want to check it out. It's down there with all my other camera gear, always linked down there. They're affiliate links, so it's a great way to support the channel at no additional cost to yourself. If you're going to buy something like this anyways, you can click those links and check them out there. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.